It's recording already. That's awesome. Here we go. Nee hoor, laat maar. Everything, we can say everything we want whenever we want.
Cool.
I am not going to say anything about your speech or anything about that. You're free to talk however you want.
Cool.
What I wanted to say was thank you to NSA, Noble Savage Arch, for sponsoring us. Thank you for Monkey Tape. Monkey Tape's got their fingers in here too, you know? Monkey Tape fingers.
We need them.
We need them. Look at that. That's way worse than mine. Thank you to Kortenbach VFX for all the VFX works. So if you see like Hulk Hogan like passing by here at some point, that's it. Cool. Grips 020 for all the training. And that's it. That's all the sponsors we have. And in front of me, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Henk Heneweer, legend. A legend. Yes, you are, man.
Just a simple dude.
Legend. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu now?
About 15 years now.
15 years. Yeah. That's legend material right there.
Yeah, man. And I love it still. Like it's the first day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. That's what you look for in somebody that really likes it, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy. So you used to 15 years. How did you? I want to hear it. How did you get into it?
Well, my origin is like Muay Thai, kickboxing, karate, and I was training for like 8 years, and then
here in Almere.
Yeah, here in Almere. First, I done it in the north of Holland for a couple of years, and then I moved to Almere and started training here. I started training karate and kickboxing at the same time. Yeah. And then when I did a course, like a study again to be a trainer coach, I met someone in a judo class and he was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I didn't know. So he took me to the ground and instinctively I just did what I thought was good.
I had the same problem. I was a boxer and somebody took me to the ground. I felt like a little bitch.
Yeah,
I felt like, oh fuck.
he did stuff with me that I thought, man, what the hell are you doing? So, and then he invited me to train with him at home. It was in 2004. Chris Gandijn is his name. Yeah. I never forget. Good friend of mine.
Shout out to Chris, man. Yeah. Thank you for starting this hero on the journey.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I would never met Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So all the credits to him for the beginning.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you go. That's awesome.
And so he took me at home and just with 3 mats and in the living room. And every Monday night we started training and drilling from the DVD from Jean-Jacques Machado. Eddie Bravo was still a purple belt back then on the DVD. And we just started training half guard. And that was my first... how do you say, the meeting with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then he took me to Amsterdam with Yamasaki was still the name, Kado was teaching there.
Yeah, I know, I heard Kado.
Long time ago. Wow. It was great, man, it was great. And then, I couldn't stop, man. It went from 1 day to 2 days, 3 days, then I went 2 times a day, and I just wanted to learn everything about it. And I stopped kickboxing, I stopped karate, and I focused only on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from 2006, I think, 2007.
Till now.
And then 2 times a day training. Try to get everywhere my sources, seminars, England training with Ricardo de Silva at Nova Forza. Yeah, I will talk a little bit later about him because a lot of respect. And I got like different professors who I see my professors, and I'm very loyal to those guys. And I everything what I'm doing here, it's because of them. So also all the credits and thanks to them. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And then you started up right here. Was this the first one you ever started? Because I looked around and I was just like researching a little bit, and I said, "There's a Kaishin everywhere." They're growing everywhere, man. That is awesome. Yeah. That's the first one that's actually like,
this is the first.
This is the very first one. Yeah. We are in the base where it started.
Yeah, well, it started in another gym here in Almere. Yeah. But I'm not sure. Like 8 years ago, I moved here because we're like all the days in the same place. I didn't want to like 2 days in that gym and 2 days in that gym.
Oh,
so now we got one space, and we're just here. And from there, because all the affiliations, there is not one. I'm where I ask if they wanted to connect with me, they asked me if they could
be part of you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it's like a passion. And for me, this is something more than just like a business or whatever. Because I got 4 jobs. So for me, this is not about making money. So the first question those guys always ask me, how much is the fee? Because Rivero and Crazy Bar, and everyone does it their own way, and it's fine. I don't have no opinion about it, But I told them I don't want any fee. I want 0 money. I got some values. and quality and level. Those are for me important.
That's
real friendship, trust, and
awesome.
open. You know, and that's for me is important. If they stand for those things, I will help them how I did this, and I share my knowledge or my experience, and I share with them, and together we can make each other better and make this world a little bit nicer through jiu-jitsu. So that's for me.
So let's do you don't think that this whole like if you pay to be affiliated, you know?
No, I don't do that.
Why wouldn't you do that? Why do you think it's bad?
Yeah, no, I don't think.
I think the values you have. I think the way you're doing it personally. I think the way you're doing it is the best way possible. It's like. That is extremely old school. Like we're going all the way back from like you carry the name and there's a value and everything. There's no money involved, there has to be like a certain level and there has to be a certain dedication to this whole thing. I mean that is what I inspire to be.
For me, it's like I'm not gonna put everything in a podcast about my history, about my youth, but I had my share of. Obstacles in life, let's call it that way. Okay. So not everything was very easy, and I know how it feels to be alone. I know how it feels when no one believes in you. I know how it is to stand alone for something. Yeah. And I always said I want to do something back, and this is my chance to do something back to society. And you know, we live in a society where everything gets more selfish and individual, and there's nothing bad with it. But I believe in helping each other. And people always say, if you want to make the world a better place, start with yourself. And for me, there's no better way through jiu-jitsu. And if I can inspire or motivate just a couple of guys, and hopefully they can motivate, that's the reason why I post a lot of shit. I post everything what I do.
You're active,
you know,
man,
and it's the real thing. It's not like,
When I sent you a message last, I said your stuff inspired. I see your stuff and I go like, shit, I gotta go training right now. I gotta go, gotta stand up.
So that's for me the main reason why I start doing this and wanted the people help. And the only thing, you know, you pay your students, you know, it's normal, you have to pay the rent and everything. But the affiliations, they don't pay me no fee.
Oh, that is awesome. That's a beautiful, beautiful mentality, man. Yeah. Brings us closer together. As humans,
I believe also.
I mean, if you take that money part away, if you want to do, if you're gonna carry my name, in a sense, you know, if you're gonna carry the name Kaishin, then do it with based on an honor system, not on a monetary system. I think that lasts longer also.
Yeah, and you got like real friendship and.
Are you able to?
There's no second agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, it's very important.
That's a very good way to see it. Do you have time to go everywhere to visit them?
No, it's very difficult. So I try to do my best.
Because they're everywhere, man.
Is
there one in Belgium too?
No, Germany.
In Germany, all the way there.
And I wish I could go more often. I try to go there two times a year. Yeah. And I give a seminar. Awesome. And for that I charge something, of course, because I have to go there and everything. Yeah. But it's not like. And then I got like, I think about 8 in Holland. And I don't go everywhere because some of these guys, they also come here to train, so I don't need to go there. But there are guys that are a little bit further, and I try as much as I can, but it's very difficult. Like I said, I got like 3 to 4 jobs besides this. So I wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning and I go to bed like 1 o'clock at night. So, and everything between I give training or train myself. So I'm getting 45 this year, so I'm not getting younger also. And I do it 6 times a week. Yeah.
I just trained with you. You did not seem 45 at all. Yeah, at all. That is incredible. But I also see that while you're doing all of this too, I see you're working out like a beast. I mean, there's sometimes there's a video up there, and there's like, and let me ask you just like this: how much do you weigh right now?
Right now, I'm like 79 kilograms.
79 kilos. I saw you deadlift some ridiculous weights, like some amounts that I was like, nah, I'm not even doing that.
Yeah, I just did 180 this week, but I just got out of hospital like 5 weeks ago. I've been in the hospital for a week with a pneumonia.
Guys, we found him. Iron Man is right here. We found him. This is him. No.
It's just, for me, it's like real patience and lifestyle. And I really feel happy when I train, because for me at the moment I'm training, I forget about the past. I forget about the future. And I'm in the moment.
You're right there.
Yeah, and for me it gives me rest in my head and here inside. So
it does. That's the truth, man. That's amazing. 44 years old. Yeah. You're training hard now. You're gonna be 45 soon.
Yeah, September.
September, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking. Oh God, man.
Yeah.
Mine's in May. I'm I just got into Masters now.
Oh, nice, man.
yeah,
Cool.
this is
Cool.
going to be it. How about it? Masters is coming up. What do you think?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
think
feel
it's
like
good.
competing? Or?
No, not yet, because
Because of your.
I was fighting at the Europeans with the Phenomena. I didn't know I had one, but I was over there,
Yeah.
and we were training at the warming up area, and we were sparring with everyone, and then Thursday we went to Nazareth to the surfing place.
Yeah,
and it was
I know.
really awesome. I just needed to go there, and then Friday I wake up with a cough, and that was it. Like 2 days ago, I lost 3.5, 4 kilograms.
Oof.
I didn't sleep at well. I was sweating all night and during the night, and I was weak. But I told the guys, asked me, "Are you gonna fight?" I said, "Yeah, man. If I die, I die. But I'm gonna fight." So I gave everything I got. But after 3 minutes, my muscles didn't get the oxygen because you're sick. Yeah,
stuck.
my lungs. But we didn't knew then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back home. I was working all week, giving training with the sickness. And then I lost 10 kilograms in a week. And then my doctor said, this is not going good. So they emergency me to the hospital and was hospitalized
For
a week. Yeah. So I went all down.
Wow.
But
God,
yeah, it's a passion for what you're doing. I believe if you have a passion and you really love doing something, you just keep going. You don't think about what
could happen
No.
and everything. Yeah, that's something. That's a mentality you should carry always. I mean, if you are going to go compete and everything, like take care of your health. Yes, absolutely. But if you're going for it,
I was already there.
Yeah,
I was already signed up, and I was always brought up. You never back down. Never.
There we go.
And if I already was signed up and I was already there, I might as well go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it would happen like a week before and I wasn't there, I wouldn't go because I'm not stupid, you know. But if I'm there, well,
you know,
if I didn't survive, I did it with something I love. So what's a better way to go? Yeah,
that is a very, very samurai mentality. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it, man. But that's also the mentality of like I'm gonna fight either way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I win or lose.
No.
So if this is a message that I want to hear from you, what you think about that, like. Those new guys going into competition, they have that nervousness. Yeah. They have that. I still have it.
It's like, normal.
It's like I still have it too. But most of it comes to like, why are you nervous? Yeah, because I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
I said, then you don't understand the game. But what do you think?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I had the same thing in the beginning also. But I believe if you're too much thinking about that, you're not gonna fight like you normally do because you're gonna hold back. Yeah. And I just believe it's not about winning. For me, not anymore. It's not about winning or losing. It's about finding yourself and how you're going at the tough moments and how you're gonna deal with that. And if there's a problem, how can you change the switch and how can you be creative with that? And even because every time I hear the saying, you win, you either win or you lose. And from the beginning, I don't believe in that. I believe like 50% in it. But if we win, we don't. For me, it's like, we don't learn. And if we lose, we learn. But I think whether you win or lose, you always learn. Because even if you win, why did it take me 4 minutes to win? Why didn't do it in 3 minutes? And I had him in armbar, but why did he escape? Or maybe he had me almost in submission. Why didn't I let him do that? So I believe you can always learn from a win or a loss. Yeah. And it's just the way how to look at it. And for me, the training also, because I see the same mentality also in training with a lot of guys. They always are concerned about not losing. While you're training, you never lose. You never win. You're making each other better. And you can only be better if you use the training as a playground, like a kid with a swing and with a glide or whatever. And experiment and play and do your stuff. And that's the way to grow, I believe. And I see the same thing. Try to do that in competition, only then a little bit more tighter.
Yeah. Without trying to make mistakes. That's a beautiful way of seeing it, man. I always had the idea when I till this day, if I go to a competition, I'm nervous. And
Me too.
Always. When I'm nervous, it's like why am I nervous? Because I don't want to lose. Why does it matter if you lose? It's like because I have to prove myself to who?
Yeah.
You know, no one. And then when I go through the whole process in my mind again, I said, oh yeah, I'm here to just fight as hard as I can. Just to fight as hard as I can. Try to do as much as I can.
You can do as much as you can, you know. And if you give everything you got, you can
go for the win.
And
if you have the loss, accept the loss too.
That's it.
Man.
Yeah, he was better that day. That's it.
That's truth. That is the truth right there, man. That the problem with the mentality and the psychology behind going for competition is, I think you have to train competition itself to be good at it. That's something you have to do. If you train in the jiu-jitsu, if you train sparring, if you train a certain position, then you get better at that position. Which means that if you do competition, you train competition, you're gonna get better at competition.
Yeah, and if you do competition, it will help you jiu-jitsu a lot and a lot faster too. Yeah. Because you have to, because you don't know the person who's fighting you. You don't know his game. So here you can make mistakes. In a competition, you're 2 points behind or 3 points. So you have to make the switch much faster to recognize what's happening and to force your own game out. Whether it's your game or with strategy or with the mentality. How can you put him in the position that you want him to go? Or and you can practice it here, but in competition it's a lot different because you have the nerves. It's like the first game, like the first fight, it's always like your forearms.
They're dead.
Your lungs, it's always, you have to get there.
You immediately walk towards your teammates. Come on, please stretch it. Exactly. I can't feel them. These no-gi people do not know what they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is.
Fucked up.
Guys, if you're only doing grappling, if you're only doing no-gi, put on a gi sometime and then go to a competition. Your forearms will fall off.
For sure.
Your fingers will hurt so much.
It's like very hard and
But this is, and even nowadays. And I remember. I remember going, I've done jiu-jitsu now 7 years, going to 8 years of jiu-jitsu. And I remember way back, I used to follow a few friends in Brazil, go with them to a competition and see what's up and everything like that. And it has changed. The jiu-jitsu in the last few years, it has changed so much. I mean, if we're talking about our grips now, imagine at that time when everybody was just locked down the whole time and just pressure passing you the whole time. But you have done this for a long time, and you're in a division that is you're fighting what now? Master
3.
Master 3.
Yeah.
It must be incredibly hard.
It is, man.
It must be.
You get some experience, guys who've been doing it for 20 years.
I know. So what do you think about when you compare that jiu-jitsu? And what you told me earlier today about training with your younger students and they doing De La Rivas into berimbolos and stuff like that. And to me, I am much more akin and I love much more the old school stuff. So you mostly see me doing I can roll the other stuff too, and I know how to get out of them and I understand them. I appreciate them. But the thing is, if I'm doing my game, I'm doing guard, half guard, butterfly. I'm doing this older kind of stuff, I try to keep it tight and close. What do you think? Was this change good? Is it good that everybody's doing De La Riva? Is it good that everybody is rolling into a berimbolo?
Me personally, I believe everyone should do whatever works for them.
Perfect.
So I don't believe in this is the perfect jiu-jitsu, this is the perfect guard, this is the perfect way. I believe whatever works, you get the results. Nobody can go around it, so it works, so it's good for me. And I'm old school because I was brought up old school, but I still believe because the jiu-jitsu, especially the different weight class, the lighter weight class, they are more they're lighter, they move quicker, they do a lot more berimbolo, De La Riva, reverse, De La Riva, spiral sweep. So when you fight in that weight, I believe you cannot stand in the old way. You have to, if you do competition at the highest level, you have to keep up with it.
Yeah, you have to know what's coming.
Yeah, and even if it's not your game, if you understand it, you can defend it.
You have to learn it.
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons when I was telling you earlier, I was losing 15, 20 kilograms to understand the game more, and I could up with the kid which you're rolling with. So I understand even more the crab ride and all this new stuff that the guys were fighting minus 76.
So you lost 15 kilos so you can train better with one of your students so you could understand the technique
so
better.
I could be a better trainer coach also for him and a better training partner.
Guys, you do not know what your coaches go through. Always have respect. That's why when you get into the mat, just be respectful, have love, because whatever you're going through, I did diets for my students. I tried diets out for my students too. Man, these are hard stuff.
Because when I was 90 kilograms, 93 kilograms, I was fighting different than I was fighting now. So also my game, I had to adjust. And it only got better because now I got what I was fighting I was 93.
It keeps evolving, right?
Yeah, now I can add it up because now I'm going back to 85 kilograms again. So I add what I learned in the lightweight. I'm going
back to
add it with 85, 90 kilograms. So
that's going to be. It's gonna be. I'm excited to see what your game is going to become.
Yeah,
actually,
for me too, man.
It keeps
always
evolving.
Yeah, I like the evolving. That's why still today I'm in love with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like the first day.
Every day I learn something. Every day I
Yeah.
learn something. And the best part is, like, I don't know if you have that too. I learn stuff from white belts.
Yeah.
I learned, like, they do some weird
For sure.
stuff, and then you go like, hey, shit, this might work.
Yeah. I think that's the right mentality too. I always tell guys, also the higher belts, because sometimes they think I know it all because I already been through it. But I always tell my students, if there's like a new guy coming in and it's his first time, and I roll with everyone, so if I roll with him, I learn from him. Because like you're saying, he's doing sometimes really crazy stuff, and you have to adjust your game totally different because he doesn't know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So sometimes like this, so how can I do force my Jiu-Jitsu without any strength? So I can make the perfect position, because in training I want to do as less strength, positioning, and like perfect. I'm like, yeah, how do you say that? Not artistic. How do you say that?
OCD.
Yeah,
OCD.
but I want it
Perfect.
You know?
Yes,
and I
get
keep
it.
drilling it till it's perfect for me. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is amazing, man. This whole time doing the jiu-jitsu and still in love with it.
Yeah, even more.
Where do you see where? I'm always thinking, I really want to see you in competition again. Every time you see you going, and every time you're coaching, everything, I enjoy the hell out of it. I enjoy it all of it. I think I don't know how long, but I think it's now been like 8 years ago. I was in Belgium training, and then I went to a couple of competitions, and I saw you there. You were way bigger. You were almost 105 kilos or something.
No, 84, 94, 95 kilograms.
Yeah, something like that.
It was
Huge. He was, oh God, he was huge.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to see you coach everybody at that time already and compete a little bit. And I think I saw you compete. So I was what do you think about now, the World Championships? Do you think you're going to participate?
No.
In the IBJJF?
No, it's also a money thing. You know?
The Masters in Barcelona?
I wanted to go, but now with the phenomia, I'm not at the fitness I am, and this is what if I do competition, I want to train properly for a competition. That's if something happens, I will fight, but at least I have trained like it's like an MMA fight, because I'm from the kickboxing Muay Thai. We always had when competition. Like 8 weeks before, I'm gonna start doing specific training. So I do all the year like basic lifting to get my basic strength level high.
Yeah.
But then when we do competition, I do like periodization.
Yeah.
And when I sign in for competition, I always try to take it professional. So I always figure out how my conditioning, explosive, everything. I roll, I bring it back to the gym, and it's very. And this is every tournament I fought in the past. I was that approach.
That is awesome. How long? So you take 8 weeks before?
It depends on how I feel, because I train all year. But when I do a tournament, I go like 6 weeks, 4 weeks more specific to the tournament. Yeah.
All right, guys. And then what do you do in this? If you can tell us, if it's not giving away secrets.
No.
If like 4 or 6 weeks before, are you doing like double trainings? What is?
Yeah, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Ah, okay.
Sometimes short parts. Sometimes I had like for 10 years I did it like, for example, in the morning I did like a strength training session, and when I normally train, I train like 4 to 6 days strength training besides Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just the basics. And when I do competition, I do it less, it's like 2 or 3 days in a week. But then one day is like maximum strength, the other day is like explosive, and the other day it depends on how I feel, how my recovery is doing training. Sometimes I do like hill sprints and do some basic lifts in between. So it all depends how I translate it to my sparring, because the sparring tells me how I feel with bigger guys, lighter guys, and how my recovery is, how my strength is, and I bring it to the gym. So it's micro cycles I'm going to do like in a week or 2 weeks. Because you got like if you do like macro cyclists, it's like what you do over the year. The micro is more like in a week, and it comes very what I feel with sparring. Then I do in the afternoon. If I do a lot of sparring in those time, I had like an edit in the house. I had placed mats. And then I had invited some of my students. I need some dummies, can you spar with me? And we would just spar in like an hour and a half. And then during the evening when I was teaching, I just sometimes drill with my students, and then I took a rest. And then the other day, it depends on how I felt. I did it doing strength training. So then I did technique training in the afternoon, just drill, just 1-2 techniques to like in the real details. And then in the evening I did sparring. So that's the way I did like microcycling, like the 3, 4, 6 weeks before the tournament. And the rest of the year I just trained, like keep the basics, experiment, try new stuff out. And
how much now that you're in a black belt, and how much now would you say is like, this is a good amount to train? If you're not competing, train at least.
Yeah, well, if you just do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, try to do at least 3 times a week, at least.
At least. If you just started, or if you're, even if you
just start, I say, man, try to do at least 2 or something. But the more, for me, it's always better. But I always say, try to, in the beginning, the energy is heavy for you, you know, and the recovery. But the body is very, I think adaptive. It's very phenomenal. Yeah, it's something incredible. It doesn't matter where you are, it's just in the surrounding. So if you just give it some weeks and go through that barrier, you will adjust and you will love it. So, and I always keep it free, but I give my advice. I tell people how I do it, and then they can fill it in how it fits for them best. I'm not gonna force anything up. But when things are having like the kid what you're rolling with, he's got like a dream. Yeah, I'm a little bit harder for him. Yeah, because if you got a dream, you know,
if you want it, then
you're gonna work. I give him homework, so
there it is.
Yeah, he's got meds. These addicts, his parents bought meds. He did the same as I'm doing, and he's practicing with his friend. Yeah.
Oh no, we have an addict. We have a lover. We have a jiu-jitsu fighter right here. That's awesome. That's awesome. But that is how you cycle through it, man. I'm gonna go to IBJJF. I'm gonna see. Nice, although cool. I lately there's been some stuff happening, man. Did you see about the Globetrotters?
Yeah, politics. I hate it, man.
What was that about? I was looking it up. I looked up what ABGG and the IBJJF and the Globetrotters were doing. I was like, what the?
Yeah, man. They don't deserve this kind of bullshit.
No, they're so nice. They're so nice. These whole people. I actually talked to them. I signed up and everything like that, and I had like, because it's the idea they have about like you can visit every single gym, and nice. That is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. And then they got kicked out of IBJ.
Yeah, I think it's very wrong, man. I mean, they gave a lot of people a platform so they can do competition, and well, you know how hard it is, man, to get registered at the IBJJF.
IBJJF has to stop.
Sometimes I understand because they want to keep the quality, but man, we're growing, and if you want to give everyone a fair chance, let them roll, man. Just you know, I think the UAJF with Gus Oliveira, he's done an incredible job, and he's still doing it.
Look, they're doing it way better than IBJJF.
Yeah, and all credits to Gus Oliveira. He's a phenomenal guy.
Dude, he's making an awesome job out there.
He does.
There's like other competitions now that are growing and they're being like extremely good, in my opinion. Yeah, way better than IBJJF. And I think the IBJJF with like this kind of stuff, they're gonna end up losing people, or they're going to become this sole entity that is only the world championships.
Yeah, you know, I think people, because now if you just look at social media, man, a lot of people get like, how do you call it, like an afkeer?
Disgust. It's a strong word, it's getting to disgust.
Yeah, because you see all things and people now really speak up their mind, you know, like they didn't do before. And I believe like Christian Gaugut, who is like from the BJ, he's so phenomenal, nice guy. I met him. I did like one camp in Leuven, like I think 2-3 years ago. And all the people, man, they're so nice. They all share the same passion. They just want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And bring it to everybody. And
and they have incredible fighters. And about legit, man, I know people who are black belts on the black belts who I think are not less legit than these guys who are in the BJJ Globetrotters, you know. So I don't like politics, man. I hate it.
I hate it. I know what you mean.
Because
I know what you mean.
Sport and the athlete is never good for them. Politics.
In Brazil, it's pretty hard. It's pretty like, how should I say this? It's kind of like football teams. Yeah. Like you kind of have like an Ajax versus Feyenoord situation, you know, but with every single other gym.
Yeah.
So the things we teach, like I remember like the guys, what the teachers taught there is like whatever happens to the other team, it's their problem.
Yeah.
You have to go in. You have to. These are your enemies in competition. You have to kill them, rip their arms off. You have to fight hard, don't care, and just keep going. And
I believe like in a healthy competition, I always tell the guys when we do competition, it's business.
yeah,
You know, but after that you shake hands and you have
Yes.
friends and you teach each other, you learn each other, you roll with each other, you ask, hey man, nice technique, how do you do that? How did you card me or how did I card you? And I always tell people, because sometimes guys, don't film me or don't put it on social media or don't do this. I said, why?
just
I don't want people, my opponents know what I'm doing. I said, man, if they
I
know
don't
what
want to
you're
be
doing.
in a
your
highlight reel.
Yeah.
I don't want to be somebody's highlight
Yeah,
reel.
but your jiu-jitsu will only get better if he knows your technique, so he's gonna
Yeah.
defend. So you have to improve your jiu-jitsu again.
Yeah, man,
Man.
it is true. And once you get
Yeah.
famous, it's happening either way.
Yeah, man.
You're getting
I
your
don't
DVDs
care,
out there,
bro.
and that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. It's I don't know. I think IBJJF made a big mistake right
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
I mean, Globetrotters was actually helping them
Yeah.
to like bring it to the whole, and it's in like from what you've seen in this 15 years, it exploded, it growed at once. That there's immense number of white belts now, and they were helping with that.
But if you look at like the amount of athletes that IBG have, it's not always that much at like tournaments like in Europe still. If you look like UJJF, I think they got like the same amount like competition fighters. And I think UJJF personally nowadays do more for the athlete and the sport than IBJF is doing.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely,
yeah, and I
absolutely.
think it's sad, you know, because I like the tournaments IBJF. I think how they run it and the atmosphere, you know, the vibes and the platform you got there. I think it's perfect. The level is
feels,
high.
It feels professional.
Yeah, it's very good and it's good for jiu-jitsu. But I think, yeah, man,
It's getting
the
less. I
politics.
think less and less people are going to IBJJF.
I think, especially after this move they did.
I think they're gonna stop. I think it's not worth it anymore.
No.
I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna take a look, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
I'm
me
ever going
too.
to if I'm ever going to continue with it. There's so many other amazing competitions. I'm not talking like if IBJJF turns around and does like does a little bit more service for the people that are coming, because for the prices we pay and for the
You pay a
championships,
lot.
you pay a lot. You pay a lot. A person that leaves Europe or Brazil, for that matter, and goes to the United States to do the World Championship and has to pay that amount to participate.
They can do something back, you know.
And if you're a black belt in adult division, you need an X number of that. That keeps the level high. That's cool.
Yeah, I think
But-
that they have very good stuff going
But
on.
only if you're being sponsored. Because
Yeah.
if you're paying out of your own pocket, ooh.
Yeah, man. But it's not
Ooh.
professional anymore because you're still paying it yourself, you know. So if
That's-
you make the next move and if you wanna keep people out, fine. But then make the other people more professional, give something back to the.
That's an actual make it something.
Yeah.
Make it an actual tournament.
Yeah.
Make it an actual place where people can win actual money.
Like if you like.
Put a contract on them.
Yeah.
Give them a contract.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
Give them a
Yeah.
contract. I mean, all these guys, Leandro Lo, Kainan Duarte, all these new guys that are new and old, all these guys that are competing at World Champ, give them a contract.
Because a lot of people look up to these guys. A lot of people.
And a lot of them leave. I mean, Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo
MMA.
Vieira. He said no. I'm going into UFC. He's fighting,
It's
right?
the same with Jacare. Jacare quit after he fought the World Championship and he broke his arm against Roger Gracie. And then he said, "What did they do for me back after the?"
Yeah.
And then he decided to do MMA.
Yeah, he went into it, and he did a good thing.
He's still doing it.
He's still
He's-
doing
he's also
it.
not the
He's
youngest.
happy.
Yeah,
He's happy.
yeah.
Damian Maya, same thing.
Man, man, he's a legend.
Yeah, wow. These guys are like, they said, nope, I'm done. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make money.
But I think Damian Maya is still doing like MMA Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu old school. I think Jacare is more like a brawler, and he
He
likes to,
got into it. He got into it. The thing that Jacare also has in the brawling is like he knows if you take me down, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
if that's a big if you take me
Yeah.
down. Oh my god.
Because he's not afraid to get the punches and stand up with you. And Damian Maya, he had like less fights. He was doing more boxing,
Yeah.
but still he always goes to your back.
Yeah, he
So
always
it's still
goes.
jiu-jitsu.
He always does that same, but it works. He always does that half guard. From that half guard, you're done.
But he never, how do you say it? He never left his roots, and you see it always back in MMA.
But that is something I must say. It has kept his let's say like this, it has kept him from a lot of brain damage.
Yeah.
It has kept him alive long enough doing
and he's
it.
not the youngest.
Yeah, but how old is he now?
I think he's almost in his 40s.
Yeah, he's pushing 40. He's
something.
pushing 40.
And
He's Jacaré, huh?
Romero is fighting.
Romero is, we cannot speak. Romero is a genetic experiment that happened in Cuba under the that Fidel Castro started and created a superhuman. So that's not normal.
No,
that's not. You saw him
42 or something.
44, I think. 44, I think. And he was when he went with Adesanya when they did the press conference and he started dancing and he just backflipped. He just said, "Like I'm warm," and just jumped into a backflip.
I will break every bone if I do that.
Man, if I'll land on my head immediately. You guys, you don't know how hard it looks. So easy because he did it, but he just jumped out of nothing into a.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. But again, with him, you see the wrestling style. He never left the roots of wrestling. Yeah. And still like that. Like, I believe MMA is still like an all complete thing. But I can enjoy when people you see the original art back in like a kickboxer or whatever. I still like them, man.
It must be also something with like Cuba had like I saw him talk about it, and they have
training camps. They have like
they have like since children they have training camps and they have like training methods, and also wrestling in itself is like so hard.
Wrestling, boxing.
It's they're wrestling, but they've always had world champions in wrestling and in boxing. They were really good at it. They understood how to make training, how to make people good.
Yeah, there are some countries who have like Mexico. Mexico
has boxers everywhere, but I think it's maybe because it's part of what their culture.
I think it is, and I also think it's like in Thailand. You know, if you grow up in poverty, you know, it's sometimes the only way for you to escape to have a good life, and you are more motivated. If you look like a lot of guys nowadays who grow up with everything around, which is good, but it's a different mentality. Yeah, if you grow up in shit and on streets,
you miss a little bit of, I don't know, that killer instinct. Should I say?
Yeah,
could we call it that?
Could
we call it that?
I don't know. Maybe it's like more if it doesn't work, I still got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in those countries,
it's either this or nothing.
Yeah, and you got it even in Holland. You know, guys who grew up because every time a lot of people say in Holland we grew up with a good country and good money, but I don't believe it's always so. You
know? No, there's always like all around the world. You're always
and those guys. You see it in Muay Thai kickboxing. Some of these guys, they are monsters from England, man, or from here in Holland.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know that it was that good. I mean, I knew a couple of names. I of course, Remy Boyansky and stuff like that. But once I went to Brazil, and that's incredible. Brazil loves fighting. Brazilians love fighting. They introduced me to all the Muay Thai fighters.
Yeah.
I started doing Muay Thai there too.
Cool.
And I did it with. Now let me not forget. A student from Orono. You remember Orono that fought against Ramon Dekkers?
I think I did. Yeah.
And his student was Brazilian and came to Brazil.
Oh, really?
And then he was training there at my gym that I set up there. And then I was like, really? That good? So I looked at it a little bit and I said, well, I know a little bit of boxing. I did some taekwondo. Let me try this stuff out. It was so much fun. It was buckets of fun. It was buckets of fun. It was the only sport I ever did where the intention of the sport is to literally hurt somebody as much as possible.
Yeah,
break him. That's the thing. It's breaking. And it's so cool. I mean, come on. I mean, how fun is it to give an elbow
And it's
strike?
even more pretty if you understand the art and you can do it with reading your opponent. I love the game, man.
I was one of those guys from Thailand came by to teach us, and the only thing he did was kind of talk a little bit, and the rest he did just pad works with us. But the pad works he did was like he got us, and then his little son, 16 years old, tiny
animals, man.
And then I asked eventually, how many fights did you already do? 160. What?
Yeah, you go like, what the fuck?
Yeah. 16 years old, 160.
Like this, yeah. They start like this.
They start so small. And every time I lifted my foot next to this guy, I was on the floor. Bah, bah, sweep, bah, sweep, bah, sweep.
If you got like UFC Fight Pass, you can watch the fights live from Thailand.
Really?
Yeah. And then you can see them fight, man.
Was it Mac? I usually walk. I love watching the old ones on YouTube, but there's Max.
K1 Max.
K1 Max.
It's like in 90s, early 2000, 2001, you got like Albert Kraus, Andy Sauer, Musashi, man, all of these guys. You got like the Greek, what's his name? He was like little Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I know the Greek guy, the one that only throws punches.
Yeah, the hooks.
Those were scary.
You got like Mo from Holland.
Zambidi. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
You got really great fighters from that area, and it was not only hard, but it was technical combination.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful time.
Yeah, and also they came on like the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
I think the early 2000s and 90s, the year of the 90s were the best era for kickboxing.
Yes, that was a goal.
Hard, technical, good conditioning.
Yeah. So. But the Muay Thai stuff is pretty hard to get them out, and you see that in like K1.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to see them back in K1. I mean,
Bukwa was one of the few who did very great in the K1 marks.
And I think that
he adjusted the game.
I think another one that's good is Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Oh my God, what a technical
he always laughs,
genius.
man. He always do this cartwheel shit.
Yeah, and he's playing around this whole time.
Yeah,
with that.
but he's also doing like Muay Thai with just like
just with the ropes.
Muay Boran.
With just that is another level.
Always laughing.
And he goes to a championship happy, dancing, everything like that.
And he's not the youngest anymore also.
No, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there too. Like,
some of these guys fought like 300-400 fights.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I think he's at 400 something already. He's especially old for his category and age, and he still fights people.
Yeah, he still does, man. And if you look at them, if you go back early when you say about nerves and winning and losing, I don't think these guys are all with the mind winning or losing. They're just having fun.
They're just going there to have
Especially
fun.
Him, man. He
and
always have fun.
That's I think something we have to also bring back to what jiu-jitsu is. Are you going to a championship? Have fun. Have fun. Take it serious, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the secret.
I think if you keep it fun, you fight better everything because you're more loose, you know. And if you're nervous too much and you put so much pressure on yourself and for your friends or whatever, you do like this.
Yeah,
you know?
then it's like.
And if you look at the guys in Muay Thai, you know, they are very relaxed.
It's like dancing and stepping around.
The first 2-3 rounds
are just point and testing.
Figure it out. What is he doing?
And then the fourth round is.
Then it's going like everything.
Oh my God! I remember all those guys. Oh, I remember watching everybody there. After I learned and I saw it, I said, "Damn!" It all brings back. I think if you are a martial artist, if you're doing jiu-jitsu, check the other stuff out too. I mean, if you're doing jiu-jitsu every single day, you're gonna get tired at a certain point, you know. Go to a Muay Thai class.
Yeah, man. I do Muay Thai still. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Do something else just for fun. You don't have to like commit. You already have your thing, which is jiu-jitsu.
It will help you jiu-jitsu.
It will help you
for sure. Because of the coordination.
Yeah. Do some boxing. Yeah. Do some Muay Thai.
They do like a lot of top level like soccer players, but also like other top level athletes. If they do like a different sport aside, it helps your coordination.
Absolutely.
So it helps your main sport to get better.
Which makes me think we should actually get together and play a soccer match.
Yeah, I like playing soccer. I've done it for 10 years.
Really? Oh man, I'm Brazilian. I was born with it. I'm only bad at it. Like
no, man, I was in the army and I was in the army too.
Really?
Also. Yeah. We went Dutch champion, hoofdklasse A.
So man, that's awesome. Yeah. You're an army man too.
No, I was like not professional.
Yeah.
But when you're in Holland, it's not anymore. But when you're like 18. They call you up and then you have to go. And when
that used to be that.
And I'm like the older guy. So when I was like 18, we still had it in Holland.
Oh, I just missed it, I think.
Yeah. Because 2 years after that, 3 years, they finish it. So this is not anymore verplicht, zeg maar.
Yeah, it's not necessary. All right.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, man.
And then you won in that time with the football.
Yeah,
we should get that together.
We were Dutch champion. I got like the medal still.
Oh, that's awesome, guy. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We should get it together. We should get the people from my team and your team and just have like a barbecue football thing.
Yeah, man. I'm into Vonderpark or something.
There we go. There we go. We have to have this football match, man. Awesome. What I wanted to ask too is, so I looked around on your Facebook, you know, and I saw you have 2 lovely kids. You're a dad. Yeah. That's awesome. You're a dad, and you teach jiu-jitsu and you do all these jobs at the same time. And how is it with the kids? Can you? And what I mean with the kids is, part of me wants children. I'm not there yet, but
the
part
best
of me,
thing.
yeah,
It's the best thing ever happened to me, man.
and that's something I want.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like a mirror.
but don't you like push them towards the fighting or never, or don't you feel like
No, I did some. They've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My son then some competition.
I know.
And I am like this to my kids. If you want to do something, do it good. So don't do it like half. You know. I like whether it's school or something else, have commitment. So try to do the best you can to get everything out of you. But you have to do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because I'm saying you have to do it. You know what I mean? It's a different approach.
Yeah.
So, especially my son, because he was always doing some competition. And then I say, well, if you do competition, it's for real, man. You have to train hard, you have to do this. If you don't do competition, do whatever you want, man. Because it's a different mindset, I think. And then he didn't like it that much anymore because of the injuries he got, because he did free running, BMX.
Oh.
And
he pushed his father. He got his father's side in there. He's so busy.
Because he was getting with me strength training when he was 12.
Wow.
Yeah. And
is that too early or is that
no?
not?
I don't believe in that.
No.
And I'll explain why if you got some time.
Oh, we got all the time in the world. I mean,
because I was.
Let me look at the crew. The crew looks happy, fun.
Okay, cool.
Part of the crew is on the cell phone. The other part is enjoying that. No, but they're cool, man. We have time.
It's like this because a lot of people always tell me, man, it's young. And then I let him think this way. Because a lot of people always say, it's good for kids to do like body weight exercise. A lot of people always say, that's good. And then I explain this, okay, that's good. Like a pull-up, like a kid, 50 kilograms. So first of all, it's like free, so you got less control. It's very difficult to do a pull-up anyway for an adult to do one pull-up.
I'm still horrible at them.
Well, there you go. So, and then it's 50 kilograms. Now I do a lat pull down. It's all control, and I put 30 kilograms on it. It's the same exercise, but it's less tension on the thing. We're still doing weight training, so what's...
Oh,
and then you see them think, oh, I never looked at it that way. Then I say this, what age from the little school to the big school where they go with the big bags on the back. Mm-hmm. They're like 11, 12 years old.
That is
like,
horrible.
How much, 50 kilograms? Now you're gonna say like 3-4 kilograms in each head is not good to do any exercise?
There you go.
How much kilogram is like a milk from the
fridge?
Yeah. Like 2 liters is 2 kilo.
Yeah.
Now you say 2 kilo dumbbells is too heavy?
Yeah, that's the way of thinking about it.
And I grew up with my parents, and my father said, well, grab that bag for me, or grab the groceries bag from the car. And then the guys who do like rugby, or the kids who do like judo or wrestling, do you think it's all technique? No, man, these kids, they
have to lift each other.
Always good. So I believe if you do strength training under the supervision of a good trainer with experience and with some logic, they learn and they get more adapted, they get stronger, so they get like more, how do you say it, belastbaar.
They can end up carrying more. They'll grow more.
Exactly. So if you get like rugby or judo, you fall, you don't get much injuries that because your body is more stronger. Yeah. So I don't believe in that.
Start your kids young.
Yeah, start kids young and do it playfully, you know, let them have fun, but serious. And look individuals, because I got kids who are like 6-7 years old, and I just say, well, half a kilo in one hand, and we do some squatting. If he does the squatting correct, if he doesn't, we do body weight squatting. So I do a lot of different kind of play strength training, so they can like adjust, and when they're like 10, 11, 12, we can make the transfer to more serious because they already got some background, some base. And then when they're like 14, 15, 16, the testosterone, the hormones, and then we're gonna do some serious. I've got a girl with me strength training because it's also my profession, and she's in the Dutch national ski team. And she deadlifts, I think, like 110 kilograms, and I think she's 16 years old.
Wow.
I got another kid who deadlifts 100 kilo deadlift. I got a movie and film of her, and she deadlifts, I think, 100 kilograms.
I don't know if we can
She's 13, 14.
Can we add that video? Do you mind?
No, I have to ask them.
Ask them. If we can
ask.
add them, we'll. You guys are gonna see it on screen.
If we can't
do it, if we can't show it, then you guys look up Henk's Instagram.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it there, Henk's Instagram, and then it's gonna be up there.
My son does muscle ups like you don't believe.
Muscle ups?
Yeah, I can show you, man. Yeah, I will show you when we finish.
When we finish, we're gonna add this all to the video if you want. I don't know. Can we add this in post, or are you gonna shoot me?
Yeah. No, my son, you can post, no problem.
All right. Yeah. Awesome, man. So it's kind of okay. You found it easy to like bring them into jiu-jitsu and like interest them, or like because you have a son and a daughter.
Yeah, my daughter has done gymnastics for a year.
Yeah.
And now she's doing dancing, like a clip dancing, and she wants to do ballet. And I think whatever they like, you know, I think it's important they do something.
Movements.
Yeah, but it's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of parents who force the kids and try to always must be the best. Most of the time, these parents, they didn't make it. Who are doing that. I think, I'm not saying it is the truth, but you know, but for me, no, my kids should do whatever they want, whatever makes them happy. My son is into strength training. That's his passion, and cars. That's his passion, man.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. That's how you keep. Now there's a question I have, and I wrote this one down. Actually, this is a question from Ahmad was supposed to be here with us.
Okay, cool.
Questioning you too, and Ahmad had some good questions too. But he wanted to ask you in the site. Let's say it like this: how would you deal? Like your kid, he did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And of course, we know that schools are battlegrounds. That is for like little kids in schools. They're vicious. They're animals. Come on, they're nowadays they're animals. Let's say he gets into a fight, and I'm not saying like, let's say not a physical fight, but a verbal fight.
Yeah.
How do you treat that? How do you go by that? Because it's still fighting in a way. You know, it might. And let's say if it did escalate.
Yeah.
And your kid got into a fight, and that can happen at any time. Maybe he's defending himself. Maybe there's a girl involved or something like that. I don't know. There's no hypothesis, but there could be. But what do you do as a teacher and a father? Like, what are the two sides, or do the two sides? No. Just come in flying. Because it's your kid, it's your blood.
Yeah.
And it gets into a fight.
No, I always tell them, man, the street is different than the gym. And I know. So I told him, you know, whenever you're in trouble, try to walk away from it. Try to recognize when the problem is and don't interfere. Because nowadays, it was already back in those days when I was young, but it's getting more and more.
Yeah.
You know, you get stabbed or whatever.
Kids are walking around with knives.
Man, it's crazy. And I don't think it's worth, you know. And luckily, my son is a very easygoing guy.
Yeah.
He just well, whatever.
And just walks off.
Yeah, so that's good. My daughter's different. She's like me. Like, like emotional temperament. And so I have a lot of conversations with her. And I try to say, man, try to ignore it. Try to get it in here and there out, you know. Once someone gets physical with you, man.
You do whatever
you need to do to.
That's true.
Yeah, because no one's got the right to get physical with you.
That is true. If they put your hands on it, it's a difficult question, especially nowadays when we see it with bullying and stuff like that.
I hate bullies, man.
No, I hate I hate them. Like, don't don't be a bully in my gym.
No,
don't be a bully near me.
I got some guys.
I know. If you're bullying and you think you're tough, come train with Henk.
Yeah, for sure.
Come train with. I'll pay a month for you to come here and train with Henk and see if you don't get if your problems don't be solved really fast.
I really don't like bullies, man. They have no clue as a kid, but also I think it's the teachers, they're responsible, but also the parents, because they have no idea what it does to a person when they grow older. Everyone can say it's words. No, man, words hurts. And words get inside. And when 20, 30 years later, your job, your relationship. People have no idea what it does to you.
I think the bullying situation is also something that has to be dealt with by a whole community.
Yeah,
it takes everybody around you to raise a child.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're doing your best to raise your kid as best as possible, and then you send them off to a school and the whole school is rotten, or you send them off to somewhere else, you know, where he has to go, I don't know, and the whole society around it is rotten, it's gonna be very hard to keep him on the path.
Just look what they can find on the internet. Just look at what they see on television.
Oh my God. Kids.
I didn't have that when I
was... we
didn't know what internet was.
We had to buy a magazine.
Yeah, but that's all, you know.
We went after that. Oh yeah, man, I know. It's hard, but it's cool. It's nice to see that your kids kind of showed interest into movement, and that you got them into.
Yeah, I think it's important.
And that you inspired them into this thing. Your gym, it's going great, man. I trained here today. It's an awesome gym. You have hard as nails guys. I wasn't prepared. I came here and it was like, this is gonna be. And then it was hard. You had some hard guys running around.
They beat me up every time too. So
I'm coming back. These guys got my ego. I was like, we have to come back. You have to train with them again.
You're always welcome, man. Doors always open for everyone.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's the future? What do you want? What do you want to do now? How far? Where do you want to take this? Because it by itself, it seems it already.
Yeah, that's it. It's
what
by itself. Yeah.
What else are you going to? Well, by itself, it also required like a lot of work from you and like a lot of.
Yeah, it sounds very stupid maybe, but I let nature does his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can kind of see that.
I just roll. I just live my life. I share my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I share everything on social media, and it's just the way I am. And you hate it or you love it,
and that's it.
And whatever, there's no in between with me. And people try to connect with me, and and
it's easy, man. Let me tell you something. It's easy to connect with you. You're very open in this sense, and it's really nice to follow you around because I see that you are honest. That you
man. It doesn't matter where I am.
And you're working towards like getting the same idea towards your students.
Some of these guys are already teaching themselves now in other gyms or do their own stuff, and I think it's incredible. As long as everything is in a transparent, openly, honest, respectful way, man, it's awesome. There's no better way.
Do you think that life taught you that, or that jiu-jitsu taught you that, or let me see life?
I don't have to think about that.
You know, no. Did you martial arts? Did it contribute to you in every single?
Well, some way, but you know, there are also a lot of, sorry for my language, assholes in the martial arts. You know, selfish, who only think about themselves and use you for a tool or for a bridge or whatever. Yeah. I don't like that kind of mentality. But no, I think life teach me a lot. And like I said, I lived in Macau when I was young, you know, and you look at things different in life. And then people, you get like a sixth sense, and it's just, martial art teaches something. But life taught me most, for sure. Yeah.
Why this? Why this? Why do this? What is the passion behind it? Can you explain it? Can you find a way? Because I have been trying, and this is a question I try to pose to a lot of people, and it's because it's a question that within this society, people ask me a lot, and they go like, why not study to be like a lawyer or something in that direction? And why would you ever get tired, risk your limbs, risk getting choked out, risk all this stuff?
Yeah, for me it's like this, and a lot of people think you're nuts, but I'm very simple. I'm a simple dude. We were born to die, and everything in between, you have to do whatever your heart tells you to do. And before I became full-time like a trainer in strength training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was driving a lorry because my father had a whole company. So I was, I was rolled into it, you know? Yeah. So I was driving on a big truck or on a minivan. I was driving through all of Holland with my father through Europe sometimes. But my heart wasn't there, you know? And I was always very active after my work. So I still train 4-6 times a week after my work. And it wasn't my thing. And then my ex, she was pregnant of my first child, my son. And then I said, man, I'm gonna do different. I'm gonna follow my passion. And I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how many times I'm gonna fall. I don't care anyway. I'm gonna do it, whatever it takes. And from that moment on, I changed my life 180
degrees.
Yeah, and I was like 26 or something. And now we're here.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
Any regrets? None. You're here. You're doing what you love and doing it.
If I tomorrow I die, I'm a happy man.
Oh, that's
sure.
awesome, man. That's the great stuff.
How many people can say they live the passion
That's
and help
true.
others through the passion and do something good? You know, for me, that's more richdom than any money thing shit can buy in life. Me,
that is it. You found it, man. You seem realized in what you're doing, or gerealiseerd in whatever you're doing here, and it seems awesome, man. I'm happy you're doing great. I'm really happy. This gym is growing. It's awesome. What I want to know is, where do you want to take it?
Yeah.
Or is that going to see like let nature take its course?
For sure, I will do that anyway. For a dream, I would like Kaishin all over the world, of course. But that's like big dreaming, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm also very realistic. So I'm not like a good businessman. I don't think about business. I'm just caring about passion and sharing that. And if it comes bigger, man, it's a great thing. And if it doesn't, and it stays the way it is, it's good also. At least it has to be positive. It has some values, and this is important for me, man. And the rest is all bijzaak.
All right. That is it. Yeah. That is perfect, my man. Yeah. I think we got it for this time. Cool, I think we have a lot of stuff, a lot of things that people can listen to right now.
Yeah.
And can you just give me like let's say it like this? We'll link.
Yeah.
We'll link your Instagram here. We'll link your thing. You're teaching in Almere right now.
Yeah, cool.
There is probably a Kaishin near you because these are growing. They are sprouting out of the ground.
Yeah, some good ones too. So.
And there's good ones in between there, and most of them train here too with you.
Yeah, some of them do. They go all the way come here every now and then.
I mean, you're taking care of everybody. I believe that. I believe that they're all carrying this happy family-like.
Yeah, they're all successful in their own way, and if you see how they started and how the way they are now, man, I'm fucking proud of them.
That is the thing, man. That is awesome.
It's like a second family. It's awesome. It's awesome to see people doing great stuff.
Yeah. That is it, guys.
Be successful in what they do. Yeah,
so, people, if you're listening, and I know you are. Check it out. Check out Instagram at Henk Heneweer. You're gonna see some crazy stuff. You're gonna see this guy working hard. It will motivate you. If you're watching this at home at 2:00 in the morning, at 4:00 he will stand up and start running wherever you have to go. This guy is awesome, and that is it, my friend.
It was an honor, man.
Thank you so much. I wanted to be talking to you for the longest time. I wanted to. The moment I came here, the moment this idea, I actually wanted to come here way before that. This whole podcast idea started, and this gave me an awesome opportunity to come up and train with you a little bit and like get this bond going. You know,
come back, and get a proper role with us.
Oh, I will, absolutely will, and I'm so happy that I talked to you. It was inspiring.
It was an honor, man.
It was inspiring, my brother.
It was an honor to meet you guys.
Thank you very much. Guys, I think we're done. We're done. That's it.